welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Yay! I love Free Pattern Fridays. It's always fun to go out and do something for you guys that, people either are requesting or we're, just out to have some fun. Now this is a viewer request. They have a lot of focal fabrics and large scale prints and they're not sure what to do with them. So this one I'm window pane, and you end up with some very cute little windows of what's going on in those focal fabrics. So I thought, okay, this one would be really cute and hopefully they get the idea that strikes their fancy and they can work with it. So, but before we get in too far into this, let's see, Cathy at My Hobby Home has been on my radar for a little bit, and I thought, this would be perfect to give her a little shout out. She doesn't know it's coming, and she has a wonderful voice on quilting. So you guys, you gotta go check her out. Now her YouTube channel is going to be in the show notes, as well as the cutting instructions for this block. And there's a whole bunch of things that are in the show notes there, so it's important you get into them. Like, it's either show notes or description box. That's what you're looking at. You're looking for a see more button. So anyways, now first off, we have a Facebook group, right? So if you're part of the Facebook community, please come and join us. We're having so much fun in that group, and we do the normal things that Facebook groups do. We show pictures of quilts that we're doing, and we ask questions, but there's so many community chats going on, and we do fabric exchanges by country. We also do the free patterns, where people go out onto the internet and find free patterns and then post them back into the chat so other members can find free patterns. Also, we do a Thankful Thursday, a Saturday snippets, what you're working on, and there's lots and lots of community chats. And then there's one for just, what do you want to talk about? This kind of then people are hanging out and just having a good time and enjoying themselves very much. So it's a fun group to be around, and like I say, it's kind of cool to see how well everybody's getting along. Also, you're going to find in those show notes is that Zoom sew dates. Now we're filming this November 1, and it's going to be November and December are going to be in there, but after that, I haven't had a chance to look at 2025, but when I do, those dates are going to be in the show notes as well. So if you put them on your calendar and you want to come, but you don't feel like sewing, or you're in the middle of not sure whether you want to do another project right away or not, bring your cross stitch, your knitting, crochet. It's fun to hang out. It's all good. It's just delightful to hang out with that crew. And I try and talk with everybody, and I try and find out what everybody's working on and what's inspiring them, and we just have a great time. Sometimes I don't get a chance to talk at all, but it's okay. We have a good time in those rooms. Also, I speak for free. Now, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds, and we have so much fun talking to other quilters and seeing what they're working on when they do show and tell, and I get inspired by them. It's my way to give back to the community of quilting and enjoy, hopefully talk about things that they're interested in. Now, I do talk about elements of design. I talk about working with fabric scraps and making charity quilts. So if your group is interested in any of those topics, I would be delighted to come talk to them. I accommodate them the best I can on my calendar. So it's always been a lot of fun. Last up, the Chaos Sew Along is coming. No, we have not set a date yet, but when we do, that date is going to be in our show notes. And those finished sizes for the subunits are 4.5 inches unfinished, or 4.5 by 8.5 unfinished. So it's going to be big. Now, I worked this out. There's 16 blocks in this quilt, and it'll give you a queen size quilt. So it's a very large scale block, but it's a good scrap buster. I mean, we all need a good scrap buster, right? I mean, sometimes all our scraps are little, but sometimes we have bigger scraps, and this is a good one for that. Anyway, so I think we're done. So come on in, and we'll get to this sewing on this window pane, or window glass. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. The first thing we gotta do is we're gonna take our focal fabric for this. These are 1-inch strips. Now, I've showed you this trick before, and I'm sure you guys have seen this. So I'm going to take my block, right? Now I'm going to just give it a quick measure again. It is 8.5 inches square, right? So 8.5 divided by 2 is 4.25, right? So I'm going to go 4.25 one direction, make one cut, right? Just right up the center. And then I'm going to go 4 1/4 the other direction, right? What this is going to do is going to give you a fake window pane, right? And that's what's going to make this block look kind of cool. Now let me take this up. Now we're going to put this back the way it cuts, so it has the same, you know, it's all going in the same direction, right? There we go. Now, I chose a complementary color. I tried to get a pink that was close as I could to this darker pink, right? So I could have picked the purple, I could have picked the turquoise, you know, I could have went browns, like this darker brown in here. But I decided, okay, let's do something fun with this block. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to cut it in half. Right? Just like so. Boof. Done. Now, I'm going to save this one to the side and I'm going to sew this one just like this. Now, these strips are a little bit longer, but that's okay because I'm matching it from the one side. Right? Now, having this 1 inch isn't going to, you know, isn't going to change the size of the block at all, right? It shouldn't. If you're sewing a true 1/4 inch, right, it's not going to change it. Now, from the other side, I'm going to try and make sure I match up there. Match up this the best I can. There. Now, I got some leader enders here, and I hope you don't mind me sewing them while we're doing this because I have hundreds of them. It's like, oh no. Now, I could have cut my strip 8.5 inches, which, I mean, you can if you want. Now, you're just going to finger press that up the best you can. And I'm going to take this off. There. And I'm going to finger press that the best I can. So now you see how you're putting it back. You're putting it back together the way you cut it, right? Now we're going to sew the top and bottom together, just the way they were supposed to go together. And you could do this with. Sometimes I had a farm print that was, you know, it was definitely, it had cows and it had pigs and all this stuff. And I thought, no, that would make perfect background for one of these kind of blocks because, you know, it's all there, right? All of it's there. It's all gorgeous. It's lovely. And I thought, yeah, that would have made a nice scenery. But you can use this for any kind of focal print you want, right? So let's get this. Now we're gonna press towards that dark pink. Okay, now I can't remember which one was on the one side. Okay, we're gonna have to line them up again. That's okay. That's okay. And this stuff is very directional, right? Does that work? Yes, it does. Okay, so now we're gonna take this strip, and that's just a hair longer. And we're going to sew it this way. Oops. We're going to sew it from the top so it matches. And I've made them just a hair bigger than I needed to. Because I thought, okay, that's going to make everything work. Now, there, after all of this is said and done, let me just get the leader ender off. Okay, then we're going to press this way, and just like that. And I am going to trim this off because I think that'll help me line up the next piece, because these are coming out pretty close. So I put this back, and I make sure I've got the right orientation, and okay, here we go. Start at the bottom, line up the other end. Now, if your 1/4 inch is too chubby, this block is going to be small. If it's too skinny, you know, the block is going to be too big, right? So this is a really good test of a 1/4 inch. Really good. Okay, so one leather leader ender in, and I'm going to show you how to do the quickest test you've ever seen on a 1/4 inch foot. Just going to finger press this over just a hair. There we go. So now I've got my window, and I'm going to flip this over, and my 1/4 inch is too skinny because I can see red, right? I can see red through. So I could take this block and now go back to my cutting board and make sure that it's, you know, 8.5, which I will do right now. And I'm just going to run back, make sure it's 8.5 inches square, and then we'll just get to the rest of the sewing here. Okay, so we're back. We've trimmed this now to 8.5 inches square, right? And that's going to happen, right? Those kinds of things are going to happen. And you just have to make sure that this is 8.5, because once this is 8.5, this comes together like a charm, right? So basically we're going to web the block through. We're just going to line up our sides. We're going to put it together like an uneven 9 patch. But that's it. There's no stress here, right? I mean, yes, my 1/4 inch is a little on the skinny side, so I have to make adjustments for that, right? So, and that's okay. I mean, it's better too big that you can trim it back down to the right size. And with this block, you're not losing any points. You know, like you don't have any points that you have to match up or anything, right? So that works. And so I have all of that there. So you have to learn to adjust, I guess, is, you know, as you learn how to sew, if you're a beginner, you know, you have to adjust to, you know, what's going on. Okay, there we go. There, now we get the other parts here. I get that little cornerstone here. There we go. Line it up. Come on. There we go. Line up. And this is what I say. This is an easy one. Easy, fun one. There. I have a jungle print that I thought would have looked really cool in here. You know, it had tigers and, you know, kind of things. I was like, that would have been a fun one. But I thought, okay, let's give the nurses and doctors a, you know, a round of applause. And I didn't have much of this left, so I figured, okay, I can do that one. Move it out. Let's see. There. Okay, now we've webbed the block fully together. Get our leader ender off, run through another one. There we go. Line that up because it's a little campy wampus. A little askewed. There we go. So now you're going to press out on these side pieces, and these are going to be pressed in. Sorry, these are going to be pressed in on itself. The dark is going to be pressed in on itself. This is going to be pressed this way, right? So this goes the other way. This is going against the, yeah. There we go. Just like that. Nice. Okay. Now I know there's a couple of seams in here, but I don't want show through on this block, and sometimes I think this is such a pale pink that you would end up with being able to see the material behind it. So we're pressing to the dark, which you might struggle with a bit. Let me get the other seam clip now and get in there and really match those points. There we go. Here. There we go. Make sure that's laying flat. There we go. went through the room here the other day and touched every piece of yellow fabric I had. It's like, oh, at least that's what I felt like by the end of the day. Okay, pressing to the dark. I want to make sure I get a nice point there. Yes, I do. And now get the next point lined up. Now, if you don't line up just perfect, let your feed dogs do the work, right? That's what they're there for, you know. And sometimes it's hard for us to let, you know, manage. We're managing other things. Oh, and I just dropped a leader under on the floor. Grab another one. There's hundreds of them. They all have to get done. There we go. So now you just finger press these. And I'm pressing away on this side because then I get, you know, I press this dark. Now it's not going to show through. And there. Now, okay. So we showed you how to do this with the 1 inch and not change the size of the square. I did have, because you can see red through, right? Mine. Obviously, I need to, you know, rethink my 1/4 inch and my 1/4 inch foot. But, I mean, mine is just a little bit on the scant side anyway. So, that's okay. Now, everything else, you know, we're trying to press to the dark on this just to make sure we don't have as much show through. There might be a little show through here, but I'm willing to go with it. So, let me give this a really good press and press it down well with my clapper. And we'll be back for our ta-da moment. Okay, here's our ta-da moment for window glass and what to do. Another idea for these focal fabrics, these, you know, these big prints and all this stuff that people have. They get them in their stash and sometimes they don't know what to do with them. So I'm always happy to help. If you have a problem like that and you want some assistance, you can email me. It's not a problem. We'll come up with something if these ideas are not to your liking. So anyways, this one was very fun and fast. It showed you how you could test your 1/4 inch seam allowance. It also showed you that how to do those 1 inch strips through, right? To not really change the size of your block. That's kind of an important thing how to do, especially if you're going to do a leaf block and you're looking at how to do the stems. That's a really quick trick, right? So I do hope you give this one a try. It was lots of fun coming up with it for you. And I hope life is treating you very carefully and very gently and things are going well for you, okay? So you take care and stay well until we see each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!